There's one question on my mind as I read through this, and it should be on yours as well. How much was Mario paid to put this lunatic post out, and who paid him? That's what I want to know.
Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that was Jungle Inc. in the intro. And yes, this post by Mario Narfall is 100% ridiculous, citing an anonymous Wall Street analyst speculating BRICS would use Ripplenet. Ripplenet is a private closed network payment system operated by Ripple. And Narfall goes on to say that it is possible that BRICS will use Ripplenet in the form of a new global Federal Reserve. It's really ridiculous. Allow me to read two tweets from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse that was posted in March 2022. In order to convert crypto to fiat, exchanges, etc., rely on banking partners who could lose their license if someone on the OFAC list is able to slip through. Extremely stringent KYC, know your customer, and AML, anti-money laundering policies are in place to avoid precisely this. Ripplenet, for example, has always been and remains today committed to not working with sanctioned banks or countries that are restricted counterparties. Ripple and their customers support and enforce the OFAC laws and KYC AML. And Jungle summed it up quite nice in this 90-second clip.
This is a whole bunch of nonsense. This is like a YouTuber's dream here. We see unnamed Wall Street analyst speculates the BRICS coalition, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they aim to challenge the dominance of the US dollar, potentially with a Ripple crypto strategy. The post goes on to state that they're going to be leveraging the vast capabilities of the XRP ledger. Of course, they're going to leverage RippleNet. You got to have that in there. And we even have a section talking about the great exploits of on-demand liquidity. RippleNet leveraging XRP to bypass the need to pre-fund accounts. Is Ripple capable of becoming the new global Federal Reserve? This is some nonsense. That's all it is. He was paid by someone to make sure you bring up the Federal Reserve, check. BRICS, okay, we got to have that. XRP Ledger, RippleNet, the Federal Reserve. This'll, if you put these things in a YouTube video, you probably get 20, 30,000 views. Of course, this ain't going to happen. You have a multi-billion-dollar U.S. company would crater to zero instantly if you try to help these countries evade sanctions, get around the U.S. dollar dominance. Like the government ain't going to allow that, I can tell you that. Further, why would they work with Ripple? If they like the technology, they could simply fork it, do their own thing. They don't need Ripple. They don't need XRP. They would just build out their own system. This is silliness.
Today, the crypto market is choppy. We were up over 58,000 with Bitcoin, but it's backed off now. Notcoin is the big gainer today. It's a Telegram-based game with 35 million total players. 6 million on average play it daily. And it's on the TON network, which I really am starting to follow very closely. It's a earn in-game currency, which is called Notcoin. And it's been growing quite rapidly since May and is the biggest gaming token this year. It had a 50% gain in the last 24 hours. Now, no, I'm not showing this to you because I want you to chase green candles. That is really super dangerous. Even though there's not a lot of holders that are underwater because it's such a new project, when you have such an aggressive pump, it's likely going to pull back. So yeah, it just wanted you to watch it. And it's one of those new projects that are kind of interesting because the gaming tokens with Telegram on the TON network with the USD Tether partnership, yeah, is quite interesting. And I know you don't need to remind me that I have contrarian points of view on Tether, and it might be because I live on the opposite side of the West, where Tether is still really growing. As a matter of fact, the Philippines adopted Tether's USDT for their social security payments just a few days ago. So, again, I have a different point of view because I think I live in a different part of the world where this stablecoin is very well received. I found a story today that I shared with everyone on X, and that is Chris Larsen, the co-founder of Ripple, started a nonprofit intended to send charitable donations to the city's police department. And that would be, of course, San Francisco. He started with a $1 million donation, and 10 stations in the city are encouraged to submit an itemized wish list by the end of July. We're going to keep it going with a lot of little bits of news that I find interesting. We've got Justin Sun teasing everyone with a new tech for gas-free stablecoin transfers. Wow, this is interesting. I found the Boston Blockchain Association is very active, and they just redid their website. And you'll also find that Ripple is one of their partners or sponsors. And they're going to host a Meet the Candidates for Massachusetts U.S. Senate race 2024. And it's not a debate. It is where John Deaton and Ian Kane will talk with a moderator, and they're both going to, have a fireside chat to discuss the candidacies and the responsible adoption of blockchain and digital asset technologies. It's going to be very good. I'm sure Wednesday, July 4th, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The panel that I moderated in the Netherlands at Apex had the co-founder of Hummingbot on, and I noticed today that in the 2.0.0 release notes that was uploaded on July 3rd, there's a new XRPL connector. So the trading bot users can now connect to XRPL, and as they do with other standard centralized exchanges. So that has an improved performance and stability for trading. So Wojciech, yeah, good job. And thanks for your contribution. And another bit of news that came out on the 3rd, I missed it, but it's definitely worth talking about. This is Sentient Labs, and in their seed funding, they raised $85 million. This is a startup that is focused on creating an open source platform that allows developers to be compensated for their contributions to the AI tools. What a brilliant idea. And I am always paying attention to the space when it comes to payments. And yes, I have been tough on the Lightning Network because, well, I don't like the fact that you have to lock up your Bitcoin, and the rebalance of channels is really quite difficult. Large payments are very often failing. I think it is cited in this video, more than 40% fail. And also, it has difficult node management. So yeah, there's just a lot I don't like about the Lightning Network. But, okay, LightSpark. This is being led by David Marcus. He's a former president of PayPal. He also led the initiative with Facebook and Libra. Well, they seem to be solving this with software as a service. And Coinbase has been onboarded along with Nubank. Nubank has 100 million users. And he announces in this video that there are more in a similar size to be announced. So I think they're really making headway, and I would definitely start paying attention to LightSpark.
Something that I've seen some people talk about is like Lightning is occasionally broken or something. Like some people, like developers, will like hey, like maybe this isn't working exactly as we thought. What's your opinion on that? Like, is Lightning working? Are we fixing the bugs that come up? Like, how do you think about that?
If you use LightSpark, it's not broken at all.
Nice.
It's like, thank you for the pitch. It's no, I mean, Lightning is hard. Like, we said, it's like really hard. When we started, Basically, what we benchmarked is that if you were trying to do a transaction above $50, $75 worth of Bitcoin on Lightning, that over 40% of those transactions would fail. And now we're processing transactions, single transactions of over $100,000. And they're actually split in multi-part payments and smaller pieces and then reassembled on the other side, but it works. And so the protocol itself, the way that this was designed was actually very thoughtful. The software implementation was good on the node side, but what was missing is actually a whole series of software services on top of the nodes and the distributions that we currently have. And that was largely in existence. And it's almost like, you're asking enterprises to run the core runtime of a certain distribution with no services around it. It's just not the way that it works, at least for the institutional side of the house. And both are important, like the self-custody part that has a lot of challenges that I'm sure we're going to get into on Lightning, and the large institutional players being on the network, both actually really matter a great deal. And so it's great that anyone can run a node, but if you want a professional access point to the network that is reliable, enterprise grade, secure, with the services that you need, then that's what we do. And stablecoins are great and solve a lot of problems, but they have one major issue, which is that you have to have a centralized issuer basically issue the stablecoins and manage the underlying reserve. And so that in itself is like too much centralization if your entire payment network actually depends on it. And so that's why we're architecting the things the way that we are and building on top of Bitcoin this time around. My worry is more that you are moving from a system that's really fully decentralized, fully neutral, with no centralized choke points, so to speak, within the network. And so I'd be very concerned if the entire Lightning network depended on one stablecoin, for instance.
Yeah.
That would kind of make it like really tragic, frankly, to have like the most decentralized asset in the world and network in the world now be re-centralized, but because everyone's using a stablecoin. But I think what's going to happen in the next 3 years, is that there's going to be so many stablecoins. Everyone wants the stablecoin these days. Yeah. And so you're going to have a fragmented liquidity of stablecoins that are going to be used for a variety of different purposes in different parts of the world and on different platforms. And you're going to have to move that liquidity between the stablecoins and net settle. And Bitcoin might be like, the most highly liquid asset in between all of these pools of liquidity. So I think it might work out, but I'm very schizophrenic about this in general.
This is the Buddhist monk Yoshimichi Ishida, who loves to play games alongside his duties at the Ummoji Temple in Ehime Prefecture. Yes, we have jumped to the fluff. And one of his favorite games is Super Mario Brothers. In each game, his enemy is treated as a living being, so he recites the sutra prayer every time he kills the enemy so that their soul will rest in peace. It takes him a little over a minute to get through the entire prayer as he's paused the game, but then you can see he has a little bit of a chuckle and then will continue his play. All right, everybody. Yes, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.